Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Shalak,
Shalak,
Rayam,
Wamashapakim,
Waharagim, Wa'ashim, Ayl, Ayabyam Nawa, Kal, Adawumyam, Kal, Gawayam, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, Aman.
Shalom. First, I start off by giving all great honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to teachers, elders, and the boss of great millstone. Likewise, brothers, put on this truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding sheep and two brothers and sisters. Tuning in, Shalom. Today's lesson is titled, The Wicked Are Estranged from the Womb. Edomite Brats. Now, we're going to go into a few clips, okay? And it's going to be related to this article that you see right now before you concerning this Edomite brat who faked, okay, being kidnapped and shot, and he blamed it on 4 Hispanic male. Now, we always tell you Jakes out there, you so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos, okay, that these people cannot be trusted, okay, that these people are your enemies. And what you have here, you know, and of course in America they'll refer to him as a teenager or a child. No, this is a grown-ass Edomite brat. This is a grown-ass man, okay, 17 years old, okay, wicked as hell, okay, that came up with a way that he could get 4 Jakes deleted. Before we go into the video, let's go into the scriptures first here. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. It reads, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Now, you'll hear they talk about bringing charges against him, you know, and that's a big question mark. Of course, we already know they don't hold themselves accountable for anything, you know, because, you know, they think it's some, you know, adolescent prank. This is not, like I said, this is not an adolescent. This here is what you're looking at. It's premeditated murder. This is a murder that you're looking at right here. Don't let that little doggone bitch looking face there fool you, okay? Because he knew exactly what would happen, okay, if those Jakes were caught. And you're going to see the resources that was used in this. Let's go into one more scripture before I play this clip. This is the book of Psalms 58 and 3, and it reads, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Let's take a look at the clips.
Now, with that breaking news, in just the last 2 hours, we learned that 17-year-old pictured here, reported to be kidnapped last night, is safe. Good afternoon. I'm Greg Warmith.
And I'm Martha Sigalski. Deputies now say the original report of a kidnapping was completely made up, a lie. The initial Amber Alert scene was on Southwest Highway 484 in Denellen, but now investigators tell us they no longer believe he was taken from there. Channel 9's Nick Pampantonis live in Ocala. Nick, he wasn't kidnapped.
Yeah, that came from a text that he sent his mother. There was no van filled with Hispanic men, and investigators are now trying to figure out why he said that to her.
We want to help bring this 17-year-old boy back to his family.
The panicked search for 17-year-old Caden Spate ending around 1 o'clock Friday afternoon when deputies found the boy whose face was plastered on an Amber Alert 30 miles from where he told his mom he was shot and kidnapped.
We are with him right now, and he is in good health.
Deputies say Caden's story fell apart after they could find no evidence of a kidnapping. Instead, they say he visited this Walmart and several other stores. Surveillance photos showing him buying a bike, a tent, a sleeping bag, and other gear. Neighbors also questioning the boy's claims hours before deputies dismissed the kidnapping narrative.
That same boy came by on a bicycle, just driving slow right down the middle of the road. So if he was shot at on 484 and then stopped here and the Hispanics kidnapped him, well, why weren't they here when I passed by?
But first, we start with some breaking news out of Marion County this afternoon, where the sheriff tells us the teen who triggered that Amber Alert Friday shot himself in the leg to help sell his elaborate kidnapping plan. Good afternoon. I'm Greg Warmith.
I'm Darlene Jones. Channel 9's Giovanni Diaz is monitoring this live in the studio. Gio, this teenager is okay, but he could now face some serious charges.
Yeah, Darlene, this is a whole very interesting case. The sheriff's office says charges against Caden Spate are still on the table after this Amber Alert. You might have received a notification on the phone back then. Sparked an all-out search when they thought this teenager was in danger. The 17-year-old was reported missing along Southwest Highway 484 in Denellen last week. The initial report said that the teen could have possibly been abducted and was seen with 4 men in a light-colored van. The Marion County Sheriff's Office also responded to a reported shooting at that same location where Caden was last seen. A massive search started from that point on until around noon on Friday when he was found. It turns out there was a shooting, but the sheriff says he shot himself as part of his plan to mislead everyone. Take a listen.
The initial details that Caden texted to his family were proven to be false, completely made up. We did find evidence of a single gunshot where Caden left his truck. However, his claims that he had been shot and abducted were quickly disproven.
A lot to unpack here. The sheriff's office also told us Caden was seen buying a bike, a tent, and camping supplies just before this whole thing went down. According to the sheriff's office, Caden's family is also not allowing him to speak with investigators. It is unclear if Caden will face any charges at this point. The case, of course, remains under investigation right now. In studio, Giovanni Diaz, Channel 9 Eyewitness.
And as you saw in the clips, okay, a lot of resources used. Of course, he's a, Edomite. Okay, so, a little white, so-called white child, okay, a white adolescent or a white teenager, so they use a whole lot of resources looking for him, and, you can imagine that guns, were already drawn, if they find those Jakes, okay, those Hispanic men, okay, whom this little brat here accused of kidnapping. Is like, you're not special. I mean, look at this shit. Jakes don't kidnap people. Jakes don't do it, okay? And definitely not going to kidnap some broke-ass looking doggone Edomite, okay? His family is not rich, so there's no reason for these Jakes to do this, okay? When you go into the book of Exodus 20 and verse 16, because if this is a godly nation, okay, one of the things that you would be following if you're a godly nation, which we already know by now, 2025, this is far from being a godly nation, is this. It says, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Lying. This is false accusation. Now we've seen a history of this, okay? Let's take a look at some examples here, okay? Historically here, we've seen, okay, these white women, that have accused Jakes of rape, have accused Jakes of indecent exposure, okay, even as recent as in 2020 when you had the bird park incidents, with the Jake that was in the park bird watching, and the Edomite whore accused him of harassing her. But we see historically here, okay, of these false accusations and what has happened to Jake when these accusations are made, okay? It usually ends in lynching, death, okay, riddled with bullets and all of that stuff, okay? And this little shit here, this little shitbag cracker Edomite little brat, he knew exactly what he was doing. Okay, he has spared the lives of those 4 men, okay, which could have been any Jake that they seen out there walking around, okay, and his story fell apart very quickly. Now they're hesitating on trying to decide whether they should charge him or not, okay? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Because as we bring this out scripturally, okay, to show Jake's them that this enemy that we have, okay, it can never be trusted or allowed within the vicinity of your life or in your life. They refuse to. Take a look at this MAGA nigger, okay? Look at this. Look at this MAGA nigger. Take a look at this, okay? This is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10 reads, verse 10 reads, never trust an enemy, for like us iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. Now you wouldn't think, that that a little brat look like this would be capable of doing something like that, but like I open up, okay, the wicked are estranged from birth, okay, from the womb. Okay, you can never trust. There's none good amongst them. There's none good amongst these people. Okay, these people are just crap. Okay, we've told you, Jakes, just like in the past, you can see more and more of that coming out today. Okay, supposedly he's a MAGA kid or whatever the case is like that. Like I say, he's 17, so he's not a kid. They showed his face. Okay, so he's old enough to have his face shown. Okay, this is a premeditated murder. This is a murder you're looking at right here, because that's exactly what he intended to have happen, and it fell apart. Okay, this Ecclesiastes 1:9 reads, "The thing that had been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which should be done, and there's no new thing under the sun." They were doing this in the past. I showed you the example of this. Okay, I showed you the example of this. Accusations in one way right now, these MAGA people, because keep in mind, these doggone cracker men, okay, without their guns, they're never going to approach shake, you know, hand to hand. They're just not going to do it. Okay, and a lot of these maggots, okay, and including you doggone niggas too, man, you MAGA niggas too. They really want to silence you. They really want to get rid of you. They hate you, and you're gonna find something they call swatting taking place a lot here in Great Babylon, America, in these days and the days to come. Okay, something called swatting, in which they would call in, you know, to the police and accuse, you know, maybe a neighbor or somebody of you know, conducting activities that deem terror plot or something like that. You know, and a whole, you know, SWAT team will come in there blazing with guns ready to execute you and put you in the spirit world, man. And you can see a lot of this going on, because that's exactly what this doggone little shitbag is doing right here. And this has been going on for a long time here in Great Babylon, America. And you can see this. This is a perfect example of this. Okay, you'd think that he would be skateboarding or doing something different. No, he is plotting to get 4 Hispanic males, okay, Jakes, put into the spirit world, even going so much as to shoot himself and may the Lord Yahweh Shai give him an infection and put this doggone little shitbag into the spirit world. Okay, let's close out the book of Proverbs 29:12, and it reads, "If a ruler hearkens to lies, all the servants are wicked." Well, take a look at what's ruling right now. The red man with the doggone mop on his doggone head, that's the king of Babylon right now, and that's why you crackers are there suffering. Okay. Because this man is a lie. He's a liar. And all of you who follow him, you're all liars yourself too. Okay? And Great Babylon, America is finished. It's finished. And that's why I put in with those curses from the elder prophet. Okay? And the brothers out there. Okay? That's exactly what we're going to be in. The spirit as we go through the Day of Atonement. Okay? This space is finished. Lord will indeed, like I said, the Father close by giving all great honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Shalom.